Hello, welcome back to my channel. This will be my first video after doing my introductory video, and on the introductory video I did state that I was going to be working on Citroen ZXs, Citroens, and I'm a Citroen fan. The one issue I have at the moment is, like anybody, we all need money, and I'm currently sitting in another project vehicle which I thought I'd record for the purpose of my viewers. And basically this is a little VW Polo. I have all, it's not standard. It's got an exhaust that sounds like a old fat man farting into a karaoke microphone. But as you're going down the road and you are literally got such stiff suspension that you're constantly bashing your head off the door pillar while you're going down the road, even about 30 miles an hour. So basically this is not a very pleasant car to be in, if I'm honest. But I paid $150 for it, and my plan is to try and make some money from it and get a little bit of income. And then as soon as this one's done, which shouldn't take too long because it's got MOT till April the 6th, my plan is to put it back to standard, get it MOT'd, do what needs and nothing more, and then flog it out as a cheap bargain car for maybe a new driver or anyone who might just want a cheap little runaround, because it's only a little 1 litre Polo. So instead of me carrying on and talking to you like I am now, I am going to take you for a little walk around the car, and we will have a little discussion about what the plan of action is and what my thoughts are on it and what I'm thinking about getting done to it. So basically here we are. This is the little VW Polo. It came with 2 keys, no central lock-in, windy windows, so nothing fancy. It is a little W Reg 2000, I believe. Half decent aftermarket head unit. It's got a very high handbrake cable, so that will need to be sorted. And currently at the moment, if I put the key in the ignition and turn it on, it's completely dead as a pancake. But there is a reason for that, and I will tell you guys shortly. I have disconnected the battery. This does start and drive, and I have disconnected the battery purely and simply because I have found an issue which I'm not happy with, and it is safer to have the battery disconnected. If this has always got to stay forward, because at the moment this panel keeps falling down, so that is another thing that will need to be sorted. So I'll put that sun visor back there just to hold that. And this, let's have a look around it. Oh, onto the outside. It's currently partially red, partially pink. It's got aftermarket, what are these, 15-inch BBS alloy wheels in black with VW centre caps. So that's something that can be sold on. It's had a bit of a bump on the back here, but like I said, it's W Reg, it's got bumps and marks all over. But that particular bump I'm bringing to your attention because that causes the rear boot door light to stay on, and so it always thinks it's up open instead of thingy. This is why, as you may have just seen, it's on its spare at the front. I think I'm going to need to get the tracking looked at, because this possibly was overinflated or underinflated, but also it's very worn on that side, very worn on both sides in fact, but more so on that side, to the point where it's completely got no air in it. Now, at some point it's had a base box in, it's still got all its wiring in the boot, but this is exactly the reason why I have disconnected the battery, because that was sparking earlier, and if I can find pictures of a car that I have had wiring, because that is dangerous. Anyone who has a sub in their car and wants to unwire it, at the very least, chuck some tape on that. But realistically, the proper way to do it would be to disconnect it at the battery end, leave it completely disconnected so there's no power coming through to this. That is appalling as far as I'm concerned. I'm not happy with that at all. But that's why, like I said, the battery is disconnected. Just for now, I will reconnect the battery temporarily to show you it starting in a little while. But that will all be getting pulled out because there won't be a base box going back in. Another one, and as you can see with my fingers in here, it's really low. It's running on some sort of coilovers. I'm not sure what brand, but they will be getting removed back to standard. Again, at the front, I think the only reason it doesn't scrub these arches on a turn is because the suspension is so stiff, ridiculously stiff, that it actually suffers with traction on the road, if I'm honest. Underneath here at the front, I can barely get 2 fingers underneath there. So like I say, again, ridiculously low, and I'm quite nervous, if I'm honest, to see what the condition of the underneath is like. But going into the bonnet. On the plus side though, little 1 litre petrol. That does start and drive, and the actual engine and gearbox on this is fantastic. I've got no worries about that whatsoever. Actually, before I connect that, let's just double check that wiring. Right, so that's not there, that's not there, that's fine. Also, there is usual scuffs and rust and stuff of what you would expect for a car of this age. Right, so I know the wires in the back of the part are not connecting anything and not going to cause any problems. It does have relatively low mileage at 140 considering the age, and let's just make sure it's not in gear. And as you can see, it all lights up. Sorry about the sun, I'm trying to, all lights up lovely. Let's just put that under there a bit actually. Oh, the stupid sun's doing my head in. Right, so as you will see, I'll start it up now, and idles quite nicely. Oh, sorry about my finger in the camera then. Idles quite nicely, and it's got airbag light on, handbrake light on. Not worried about that because the handbrake is actually on. Boot light open. Now the boot is open, but that light doesn't go out, so I need to sort that out, and I also need to sort the airbag light out. And part of the reason is because at some point it's had an aftermarket steering wheel, and I think it's either that or that is how the steering wheel sits whilst the wheels are straight. So this all needs straightening up as well. The connections on the airbag need checking and testing and making sure they're connected and it's all working okay. So that's another job to be done as well. Turn that off because, yeah. So basically this is something I'm going to be doing over the next couple of days, and hopefully you guys will follow me on this and watch me probably struggle getting the jack underneath it, because that's going to be quite a fun task in itself. I apologise for the last video being 3 weeks ago, but I've been trying to find some decent software because the last video, my introductory video, has been glitching like crazy. The software was cheap, nasty, free download stuff on my phone. I was doing my editing, and as everyone can imagine, I'm still learning on the YouTube thing. I was quite like monotone and boring and had no real energy to do it, and if I'm honest, I feel like I'm getting there. So yeah, if you want to follow my progress and follow this little Polo as well, this will be quite interesting, like I said, because you guys might even be able to have a laugh at me for when you're watching me trying to get the trolley jack underneath. I've got some blocks of wood, and also as well, where I said I'm putting it to standard, in the price I paid for this car, nearly forgot to mention that, I have got the standard suspension and the standard 13-inch wheels already, steely wheels with the VW trims, in the back of my van, already ready to go on. So I may or may not need top mounts for the front suspension, but it depends on how the coilovers are set up and whether I can use the top mounts again, or whether they're bust or anything. So yeah, it'll be a learning curve for me because I've not worked on one of these before, and it'll be info and entertainment for you guys. So yeah, as I was saying, I've now got some software downloaded. I'm going to make some title screens, and hopefully that all goes to plan, and hopefully I'll be able to basically not bore you to death. Hope what I'm doing is interesting, and if you like what you see on my channel, like, subscribe and share. And the next one, hopefully with the VW Polo, will be out on Friday. I'm going to upload this one tonight. Hope that's the plan. Upload this one tonight, and the next one will be on Friday, and that'll be me starting work on it and actually getting it, like I said, jacked up and the wheels off. I've already sold the wheels, so they're gone, and I'll be able to sell the suspension. And I'm thinking, for, like I said, paying 150 for the car, the wheels are gone for 100, so the car currently owes me 50. No brainer, definitely a money maker, this thing, even if it is a cheap old banger. But yeah, so I'll say bye for now. I'll cut this here, and I will see you again on Friday. Like I said, like, subscribe and share. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.